Perry is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amendment 57 regarding UAS. American companies of all sizes are developing and utilizing unmanned aerial systems, otherwise known as UAS technology, for commercial purposes that have the capability to make the United States the worldwide leader in UAS safety and innovation. Currently, we lack the regulatory framework to allow industry to fully embrace the vast economic and consumer benefits of commercial UAS operations, including delivery in a safe and timely manner. Once again, government stands in the way of innovation and progress. This amendment will provide structure and certainty to U.S. businesses and individuals, allowing them to become innovative leaders in the international marketplace. Congress directed the FAA to promulgate a rule providing for small UAS commercial operations by September 2015, but as we all know, the administration has yet to produce its rulemaking and continues to miss deadlines. Meanwhile, technology continues to develop at a precipitous pace, and the U.S. falls further behind our global competitors. Japan's Prime Minister has called commercial UAS part of the fourth industrial revolution and committed to investment in the industry as a means of boosting Japan's economy. France certified the world's first beyond line-of-sight operation in 2012. 2012. This amendment will provide clarity to American organizations wishing to utilize unmanned aerial vehicles, hereby known as UAVs, for delivery, narrow the global competition gap, and enhance the overall safety of the transportation system. This amendment directs the Department of Transportation to develop a new streamlined air carrier certification program specifically tailored to small UAS carrying property. It also accelerates the implementation of low-altitude unmanned air traffic management system, known as UTM, that will mitigate operational risk and enhance the safety of uncontrolled airspace below 500 feet in which small UAS will operate. Not only will this amendment allow American industry to fully realize the vast economic potential of small UAS, but it will deliver immense benefits to the American consumer while most importantly improving the overall safety of the transportation system, and I urge its passage. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Just to remind members, Mr. Perry has 2 minutes and a half left approximately. We've come to an agreement earlier, unanimous consent, that we're going to have 5 minutes for an amendment, 5 minutes opposed. Mr. Perry will control that 5 minutes. If there's a member in opposition to this amendment, he claims the 5 minutes. Mr. DeFazio claims the 5 minutes in opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we certainly support the pilot program for low-altitude air traffic management system. We need and we can break through there with technology. But the second part, I don't know why we would, at this point in time, contemplate this, and it has untold implications that we're going to create today or very soon an air carrier classification for small unmanned aircraft systems using technology that doesn't yet exist and hasn't been certified to operate commercial fleets of drones, primarily for package delivery. We might get there someday, but the complex airspace in our urban areas and the implications for that, we would lose virtually any further regulatory authority by giving them both. The pilot program is great, but granting air carrier at this point in time for an unproven technology, for unspecified, perhaps huge numbers of operations in urban areas, including a potentially highly automated UAS. Well, what does that mean? They're pre-programmed. How good's their collision avoidance? What do they do with, all sorts of conflicts that they could potentially run into in terms of delivering their cargo? Giving them, I think, air carrier status at this point in time is premature. I would yield 1 minute to the gentlelady from Nevada, Ms. Titus.
Well, thank you. I was going to speak in favor of the bill, of the amendment.
That's why I only gave you 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
It's an amendment, not the bill.
I'm in amendment. I'm not in favor of the bill. I just wanted to thank my colleague from Pennsylvania for introducing this and working with our office in developing it. I think this is critical for the future. This whole industry is very important to Nevada. It was sidelined a few years ago after the small brewing company delivered beer out to the ice fishermen because they needed to respond to development and the capabilities that you just described. They've made a little progress in the last few years, but unfortunately the regulations are still well behind the technology, and one of the major obstacles is the development of that low altitude air traffic management system, and that's what these small commercial drones will use, and I believe that this amendment will allow them to move forward on that. Thank you.
Okay, that's your moment of dissent from your ranking member, but I was good to you. So, look, you know, I've got to tell you, the reservations I have been generated by the Airline Pilots Association. They are dubious and concerned about the premature granting of air carrier status, in particular with all the references to automation and potential autonomy. You know, they are very worried about potential conflicts and have numerous concerns. So, you know, we would be happy to support the pilot program and push the FAA to get move ahead with the low altitude system. And we don't see at this point, since it's going to be pilot and it's going to be essentially experimental, why at this point we would grant air carrier status to anybody who would operate in it, because they're going to have to be regulated under the pilot program and experimental status for the foreseeable future until we have a proven technology. So we think that very broad grant with untold implications, they would have the same status as Delta Airlines. They're an air carrier. You know, or other airlines or regional airlines in America, and we think that's premature. With that, I would yield back the balance of my time.
I know the gentleman is a pilot who offered. He's a helicopter pilot and knows flying at those lower altitudes, and I think that the concern we have is losing this ability to have this manufactured, produced in this country by shipping it off sea. So with that, I support the amendment, and the gentleman, obviously, thanks for yielding me the time, and you have the last minute.
Again, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to remind everybody, again, France, since 2012, they started in 2012. We're 4 years behind them, and I think most of us consider them a first world country. We can either invite this technology, these jobs, and this future to our country, or we can ask it to leave and have none of the benefits while we wait on the speed of bureaucracy while it's happening all around us. This is America. This is where we innovate. We should lead. We should lead safely. UAS they're already out there.
Excuse me, could I ask the gentleman, do they have air carrier status in France? I believe they do not.
I do not know that they do.
They don't.
However, even though they might not have it now, since 2012, they have been perfecting this, and they will have it before we do. They will have it this year, and we won't. We won't have, as a matter of fact, we won't have it this year, and with this authorization, without this, we won't have it for the next 6 years. So with all due respect, I would just ask your consideration. No one's asking for anything unsafe. We want to have the FAA oversee this as they should, and go through this and have the program be implemented safely as it should be under these guidelines. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlemen, time has expired. Any amendments to the amendment? Seeing none, we now will vote on Mr. Perry's amendment. Perry's 47. 47. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
No. On that, Mr. Chairman.
Opinion of the chair, Mr. DeFazio is going to ask for a recorded vote.